Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. A WWE star is seemingly jealous of Dominic Mysterio and the attention he is receiving from Rhea Ripley on Raw. The Eradicator will be challenging Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship this Saturday at WWE SummerSlam. Liv Morgan attempted to steal Dominic Mysterio away from Rhea Ripley while the 27-year-old was out with an injury. However, Dirty Dom told Morgan that he hated her on a recent episode of Raw and appears to have made up with Ripley. A wrestling fan sent a message to Ripley on social media and implored her to reconnect with Kathy Kelly. The Judgment Day member and the backstage interviewer have had a humorous online romance in the past. Kelly responded to the fan and claimed that Ripley was too caught up with Dominic Mysterio to give anyone else any attention. "I'm afraid she's a little too lost in the chicken tendies sauce. It's always the problem child that gets the most attention," she wrote. Bill Apter predicts Rhea Ripley will lose at WWE SummerSlam. Wrestling veteran Bill Apter believes Rhea Ripley will fall short of her mission to win the Women's World Championship at the Premium Live event this Saturday in Cleveland, Ohio. Speaking on Sportskeeda's The Wrestling Time Machine podcast, Apter claimed the former champion came off as too casual on a recent edition of WWE Raw. He predicted Ripley would come it short at SummerSlam in order for the rivalry to be extended for a few months. "When Mommy came back this past week, there was something different. There was something, that fever, that excitement, didn't seem the same to me as it had once she was here before. I found it very casual of her. But the fans are totally behind her. Totally behind her, and I think the confrontations between she and Liv Morgan going up to SummerSlam will get even more heated. It will be a good match. I don't see Rhea Ripley regaining the title though. I think this is going to go on for another few months to another pay-per-view," said Apter. 6/31 onwards, Rhea Ripley held the Women's World Championship for 380 days before having to relinquish it due to injury following WWE WrestleMania XL. Only time will tell if she can win back the title she never lost this Saturday at SummerSlam. In the bustling backstage of WWE's Monday Night Raw, the air buzzed with excitement and nervous energy. Wrestlers moved through the hallways, preparing for their matches, their faces set with determination. Among them was Dominic Mysterio, who was having a breakout year. Dominic had become a central figure in the storylines, largely due to his association with Rhea Ripley. The two had undeniable chemistry, both in and out of the ring, and their partnership had taken the WWE Universe by storm. Watching from the sidelines with a mix of envy and frustration was Rhea Ripley's ex-boyfriend, a former NXT standout named Jordan. Jordan had been a promising talent in his own right, but lately, he felt overshadowed by the spotlight shining on Dominic. The wrestling world seemed to have forgotten about him, and he couldn't help but feel a pang of jealousy every time he saw Rhea and Dominic together on screen. One evening, after another stellar performance by Dominic and Rhea, Jordan found himself pacing the floor of his modest apartment. The TV still showed highlights from Raw, with Dominic and Rhea front and center, their chemistry undeniable. Jordan turned off the TV in frustration and threw himself onto the couch, staring at the ceiling. "Why is it always them?" he muttered to himself. "What does he have that I don't?" His phone buzzed on the coffee table, interrupting his thoughts. He picked it up to see a message from his best friend and fellow wrestler, Mike. "Mike, hey man, you good? Saw the show tonight. Dominic and Rhea are killing it." Jordan sighed, typing out a quick reply. "Yeah, they're doing great." Almost immediately, Mike responded. "You sound down. Want to grab a drink and talk?" Jordan hesitated but then decided he could use the company. "Sure, meet you at the usual spot in an hour." An hour later, Jordan and Mike were sitting at their favorite dive bar, nursing beers and talking shop. The bar was dimly lit, with the faint sound of classic rock playing in the background. It was a place where wrestlers often gathered to unwind and share stories. Mike leaned in, sensing Jordan's frustration. "All right, spill it. What's bothering you?" Jordan took a long sip of his beer before answering. It's just, I feel like I'm invisible, you know? Ever since Rhea and I broke up and she started teaming with Dominic, it's like I've been pushed to the background. They're getting all the attention, and I'm stuck here, forgotten. Mike nodded, understanding. I get it, man. It sucks. But you can't let it eat you up. You're a talented wrestler, and your time will come. Jordan shook his head. It's not just about my career. It's seeing her with him. They look so happy. It's like she never cared about me at all. Mike sighed. I know it's hard, but you have to move on. Focus on yourself and your own path. Maybe this is your chance to reinvent yourself, to show everyone what you're really made of. Jordan looked down at his beer, contemplating Mike's words. Maybe he was right. Maybe it was time to stop wallowing in self-pity and start fighting for his own place in the spotlight. The next day, Jordan arrived at the WWE Performance Center with a renewed sense of determination. He threw himself into his training, pushing harder than ever before. He worked on his promos, honing his mic skills, and spent hours perfecting his in-ring technique. Slowly but surely, he began to feel a sense of purpose returning. As weeks turned into months, Jordan's hard work paid off. He started to gain more attention from the WWE Universe and the higher-ups. He was given more screen time and bigger matches, and the fans began to take notice. But the lingering jealousy towards Dominic remained. One evening, after a particularly grueling training session, Jordan found himself alone in the locker room. He sat on the bench, drenched in sweat, when the door opened and Rhea Ripley walked in. She stopped when she saw him, a look of surprise crossing her face. "Jordan," she said, her voice soft. "I didn't expect to see you here this late." Jordan shrugged, avoiding her gaze. "Just putting in the extra work." Rhea walked over and sat down beside him. "I've noticed. You've been killing it lately. I'm proud of you." Jordan looked at her, surprised. "You are?" Rhea nodded. "Of course. Just because we're not together anymore doesn't mean I don't care about you. I want to see you succeed." There was a moment of silence as Jordan processed her words. "It's been hard, seeing you with Dominic. I felt replaced." Rhea sighed. "Dominic and we're just friends and partners in the ring. What we had was different. It was real. But things change and people grow. It doesn't mean what we had didn't matter." Jordan looked into her eyes, seeing the sincerity there. "I guess I've been holding onto a lot of anger and jealousy. It's been eating me up." Rhea reached out and placed a hand on his shoulder. "Let it go, Jordan. Focus on your journey. You're meant for great things, and I believe in you." Jordan felt a weight lift off his shoulders as he nodded. "Thanks, Rhea. I needed to hear that." As Rhea left the locker room, Jordan sat there, feeling a sense of closure. He realized that his path was his own, and it was time to step out of the shadows and claim his own spotlight. With a renewed sense of purpose, he knew that he was ready to make his mark on the wrestling world, not as Rhea Ripley's ex, but as Jordan, a force to be reckoned with.